Well, hello there. I just real fast would like to go through and kind of give you some information on stuff that you need to know for your test. Okay, the test is going to be set up the same way as the last test was set up in my classroom. Jeez, my hair looks horrible today, probably because I had the air conditioning turned off all morning and I was dying of heat, but that is beyond the point. Enough ranting for right now. Okay, back to your test. A couple things you need to know. First and foremost, as I was saying, it's going to be set up like your other test was, except for it's going to be 90 points instead of a full, complete 100 points. The first 22 are going to be fill in the blanks. Now, all the fill in the blanks come directly from your notes. So if we take something from the notes, have you fill in the blank for that thing right through there. The next 30 questions are going to be short answers. Short answers also come from your notes, as well as some of the information we've discussed in class. Make sure you have that information good and ready to roll, and you'll be able to do fine and be successful on this. The last one's going to be those essay questions. Okay, there's going to be 2 essays set aside. You're going to pick one of those essays. You're going to be able to write that essay. I'll have the paper already put in here for you. You simply need to write it in the same packet. I'm not going to have you staple any paper on there. I'll also have the rubric, how I'm going to be grading your essay, stapled into this packet. That is going to be there. I'll give another video after this one. I'll have it linked down below to explain what's expected of you in that rubric on how to write those essays. Okay, first and foremost, we're going to start off with the end of the 30 Years' War. Thing you need to understand about the 30 Years' War are the 2 implications and results of the 30 Years' War. So first and foremost, you need to know that it ended with the Peace of Westphalia, okay, the Treaty of Westphalia. And at the Treaty of Westphalia, the 2 big things that happened that you need to understand is, number 1, it was the breakup of the Holy Roman Empire, okay? Make sure you got the Holy Roman Empire, not just the Roman Empire. If you mark the Roman Empire, you are not going to get points on this. It needs to be the Holy Roman Empire. That's the first one. Second one you need to understand is it is the religious implications that come as a result of the end of the 30 Years' War and the Peace of Westphalia, which simply states you are now going to be the religion that your monarch is. So if you have a king who's a Catholic, you're going to be a Catholic. If your king is a Protestant, you are going to be a Protestant, okay? Make sure you understand that. When it goes into talking about Russia, you want to know that Russia is a continuation of the Byzantine Empire, which is a continuation of the Roman Empire, okay? The regular Roman Empire, not the Holy Roman Empire. Now, couple things you need to know is, 1, how the Russians kind of view themselves as a continuation of ancient Rome, okay, and the Roman Empire. We see this through the fact they call their leaders Tsar, which is simply Russian for Caesar. You want to be able to explain that and kind of why that is going to be influential and important, okay? Be able to explain why the Russians are influenced by the Byzantines, okay, and how the Byzantines influence Russia. For example, with their language, okay, it's going to be very similar, the way they dress, okay, the fact they call themselves Caesar or Tsar, and additionally with religion, they're Orthodox, which is the same religion of the Byzantine Empire, the continuation of the Roman Empire. So you need to explain who the Byzantines are, okay, and how the Romans kind of move from the Byzantines, or the continuation of the Byzantine Empire. You want to know that they're Orthodox. Orthodox is a conservative Christian religion, okay? They're not Catholic. It's a branch off of Catholicism. They're not Protestant, but they're Orthodox, okay? It's conservative Christian movement and religion. You want to be able to explain that. You want to know who the Russian nobles were that Ivan the Terrible persecuted, okay? The boyars, okay? The boyars were these nobles in Russia. They were in charge. Ivan didn't like that. Peter didn't like that. They're going to attack these group of people, okay? Make sure you can talk about them. You want to know the difference between Ivan the Terrible and Peter the Great, okay? Ivan the Terrible was the first Tsar of Russia. Nice guy until his wife died. Then he went a little bit crazy going on over here. Make sure you can explain to me who is Ivan the Terrible, okay? First Tsar of Russia. And why does he earn the nickname Ivan the Terrible? Because he's incredibly brutal, but he does do some good things, such as building St. Basil's Cathedral over in Moscow. Okay, you want to talk about Peter the Great, considered the great modernizer of Russia. What does Peter do that considers him such a great modernizer? He starts the Great Northern War with Sweden, okay, Sweden for the IKEA. Starts the Great Northern War with Sweden over some meatballs. No, I'm joking again. Sorry, I'm apparently having a hard time staying focused. But squirrel, there's actually a squirrel on my screen right now. I just realized that. Sorry, I'm gonna focus up now. Okay, but Ivan the Terrible starts a war with the Swedes in order to gain that port, this Baltic Sea, because Russia's really flippin' cold. You need a seaport, okay? If you don't have a seaport that's not frozen all the time, you really don't have a successful port. So they're gonna have to get the seaport. They're gonna gain that as a result of that, okay? And why he does all those different things, builds St. Petersburg. Why is Peter considered a good guy versus a bad guy? If you have any questions on that, look back to the practice essay you worked on in my class, or the mock hearings. We all kind of talked about that pretty heavily, but if you still need some help, please either comment down below or shoot me a message. Come talk to me before school, after school. I'll happily help you because that's what I get paid to do. Also, we need to talk about Louis XIV, the Louis XIV. Notice the Sun King because everything revolves around Louis. Louis is kind of full of himself. He wants everything to be about Louis. When Louis gets up, you get up, just like when the sun rises and goes across the sky. It's backwards on my screen and then sets on the other side. You do the same thing. Okay, so when Louis is rising, you are also rising. When Louis is setting, you are setting, and vice versa. Okay, it's going to be important. He became the King of France at the age of 4, and his mother and chief minister are going to rule the country. Louis is like, hey, I don't like that. People took power of me. I'm the boss. I'm in charge. You do what I tell you, or not going to be happy. Okay, be able to talk about that. It's going to be important. He established Code Louis, which is the standardized set of laws for all of France, meaning all of France is going to be kind of under the same set of law that allows him as emperor, as king, to have more power. Additionally, it allows people to know kind of what the law is. When you have a standardized set of laws, it's much easier to manage a country. That's going to be important. Okay, you want to know that he revokes the Edict of Nantes. Okay, this is where the Edict of Nantes was by Louis. I believe it was his great grandfather. Basically said that you can be whatever religion you want in France, and Louis is going to say, no, bye Edict. You are going to be Catholic, or you're going to get the heck out of France. It's kind of what he's saying. So he revokes the Edict of Nantes. Okay, Nantes, Nantes. He just like said, bye. You're not Catholic, leave. I don't want you here. Goodbye. Catholic or out, and that's what Louis is going to be saying right there. He lives at the Palace of Versailles, which is what we looked at in class, that giant palace made of gold. While the people were starving, he's living in a house literally made of gold. You can imagine how people are not going to be very happy with him on that one. That Catholic king who fights wars against France, or he's French, okay? He fights wars against the Spanish, fights wars against the Dutch. Both of them go very, very poorly, and bad things happen. Okay, study of that. You need to understand some of the higher order thinking questions. Why is it problematic to have a bunch of really powerful countries packed together in a tiny little area? There's a lot of power struggles going on, wars, pew, pew, pew. Okay, bad things could be happening. That is going to be a problem. Ivan the Terrible destroys Russia's economy because he just goes and starts a war with everyone, and then 300 years later, they're still paying back these wars. People to explain why people are in favor of Peter the Great and why people might be opposed to Peter the Great. Soldiers on a rampage, you want to be able to explain to me what they were doing and why they were doing it. So they're just burning and pillaging everything and stealing whatever they want simply because they can, and no one's going to stop them. Explain to me why that's going on and why people might be opposed to a bunch of soldiers doing that, okay? Talk to me about the things that influenced Louis XIV, okay? Why the fact that he became king at the age of 4 and had other people ruling his country, how that influenced his leadership style, the history of weak kings in France. So France had a very large history of weak kings. Louis comes up and says, I'm not going to be one of those guys. I'm not going to be a weak king. I'm going to be strong and powerful and do everything I want to do. I am the flippin' Sun King. You listen to me or else, okay? It's kind of what Louis is going to be saying right through there. Tell me the results of the Franco-Dutch War and the Franco-Spanish War, why it could be problematic to have a king living in a palace literally made of gold when everyone else is poor as can be. Explain those questions to me, you should be good to go. Then it's going to move on to the essay. Okay, the essay, you're going to have 2 possible questions. You're going to pick one of those 2. My advice, pick the one you know the most about. Do an outline. Outlines are important. I'm going to put one on the test for you. Make sure you probably follow through with that. And then write that essay as well. Do the best you can. Make sure you leave time for the essay. If you have any comments or questions, please comment down below where I'm looking right now. Probably looking very creepy, but that is okay. Otherwise, get a hold of me at class, send me an email, and have a great rest of your day. Good luck.